Welcome everybody. It's our first installment. We finally got around to getting a camera and getting some mics. So we are going to answer the first of many questions that you guys posted on our Facebook page. The first question being, and I have a monster.
Yes.
It's
some of us have culture.
And the question being is around weight classes. So Robin had posed a question, essentially, when should someone start worrying about weight classes, cutting, bulking, and things of that nature? I think all three of us, we get that question all the time, and my general perspective is, in terms of timing, I think it really depends on how early you are in your lifting career, and I think that rings true for both powerlifting and weightlifting. When we first opened up the gym, I would say a good amount of people, probably about 60 to 70% of my athletes were within their first year of powerlifting or so. And I think when we field that type of question, like, hey, should I be in this weight class? Should I cut? Should I bulk, right? It's just a matter of like, your training age is so young that I think the general standard is that you should bulk, right? That you should like try to maximize your strength gains in the first year at the very, very least. And then once you get more and more competitive, then you start to think about cutting or going into the weight class where you feel like you can make the most damage.
I mean, generally speaking, when an athlete first comes in, you know, they need to learn the movements, they need to learn how their body responds. A lot of times that body composition takes care of itself simply through the programming. Like I said, when an athlete comes in and they're 5'8", I know they're going to be, and they're a guy, I know they're going to be 85 kilo weight class. That's where they're going to be the most competitive based on their limbs and their height. If someone walks in, they're 5'5", 5'6", I know they're going to be a 69 kilo lifter. Right, Kaleb?
Nope.
What'd you weigh in at your last competition?
Oh, no.
I weighed in at a weight that had me in my weight class, which is 77 kilos as a weightlifter. No, but honestly, I weighed in at 70.28 kilos, which was way on the low end for my weight class, obviously. And I'd be lying if I said it did not negatively impact my performance. I mean, definitely. If I was hitting 110 on my clean and jerk at like 75 kilos and I all of a sudden lose 5 kilos, you know, that's going to make a difference.
Yeah, and if you don't have that optimal body weight based on your height, you're not going to perform at your best. With that being said, that's a long-term development goal. So that's different than cutting or bulking for a particular meet.
So for example, for myself, I think I'm a 74 kilo power lifter, and I eventually want to get to the 83s, but that's going to be a factor of me maxing out my potential as a 74, and I'm still hitting PRs relatively regularly, and you know, at that point, why stop? Or why even think about upgrading if you're doing well in your weight class?
Broke, don't fix it.
It just helps with recovery.
Yeah, it's like if you can eat a lot, then
I mean, any time where you're doing caloric deficiency, or even, you know, like room to error, maybe accidentally going caloric deficiency, it's stress. And if you're adding stress upon your life, you can't recover and get stronger as effectively. You know, if your workplace is stressful, if your lack of sleep, your relationship status is stressful, your lifts suffer, your ability to get strong is suffer. And denying yourself good quality foods, don't get me wrong, don't go eat cake.
Just mean Pop-Tarts, donuts, and all that stuff.
And then Pop-Tarts and then a protein shake. It's healthy. It's got protein in it.
It's carbs and protein, we're fine.
We're fine.
As far as cutting down, I can't say I've ever worked with an athlete where, you know, they walk through the door, you know, gave me their dimensions, weight, all that stuff, and I thought to myself, hey, you need to change your body composition immediately. Immediately. In my opinion, I think that would be the rare case where I think that would be a health concern. That would be more about health than performance.
You're trying to get rid of excess body fat. Usually that's a health concern. Sometimes it's a competition concern, but the health concern will take precedence unless you are a national level lifter. In that case, we're talking about reduction of calories, an increase of your protein to make sure that we're holding on lean body mass, and we want to gradually reduce your calories and increase that protein. Now, we want to do that process over a month or two. We don't want to be a caloric restriction to be so severe that we actually reduce weight quickly for a competition. You don't want to do caloric restrictions before a competition. You're cutting off like 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 4 pounds. You do want to use what's called a water cut, which is drastically increasing the amount of water you're drinking first. It's up to 2 gallons for a couple days, 1 gallon the next day, and then half it, and then the night before, around 6 p.m. or whatever your weigh-in time is, you're cutting water out completely. It's going to help you piss out all that excess water, and you can lose a couple of pounds. Now, when I did it, I had a similar impact. My cut for Reno was a little bit harder, mainly because I was traveling so much. I was 10 days on the road before my competition, and I had a hard time maintaining my weight, salty foods, things like that. So my water cut was a little bit severe, and I came out of it clean, and I was already thinking about the jerk because I was already through my sticking point on the clean. And all of a sudden, my legs got tired, and I couldn't stand that clean up as well as I thought I was, and I missed my jerk. So you will perform not as you expect. So,
to build off of that point, I think the biggest thing that a lot of people kind of mess up with water cuts is recomposition strategies after you weigh in, right? Like not getting enough salt in your system, not getting enough carbohydrates in your system immediately after you, or liquids in general, immediately after you weigh in, can drastically change your ability to perform on meet day.
So if you are, sitting a little bit heavy on your weight class, and you're curious about trying a a water cut, practice. Practice on a local meet. Don't do it often. The more often you do it, the more your body will not respond. I have lifters that they can't water cut anymore. The body won't.
Just simply won't respond.
They won't respond to it. So they've done it too many times, and their metabolism will actually change. It's just not worth it unless you're doing national level meets.
Closing thoughts, statements?
No, I got nothing.